If you can't stabilize your blood sugar and you're having or experiencing hypoglycemia and your hormones are a little wacky, is it a good idea to add sugar and a little bit of fruit to your carnivore diet? Let's get into it, part 2. Welcome, everyone. Now, this is part 2 of the whole sugar diet. My mom's dog is just having a little meltdown, but that's okay. We're going to get through this video. Now, people, it's a trend that people are adding sugar to a carnivore diet. Let me explain to you what I believe is the reason why this is happening. And we can use Paul Saladino as an example. He added fruit. He had electrolyte issues. This is what he has said in his videos. And I believe that potentially the thyroid was compromised by doing a strict carnivore diet in his version of it. See, when you become chronically dehydrated and your electrolytes go out the door because you're eating a bunch of meat and there's not enough potassium, magnesium, sodium balance, people start to feel bad. So they add fruit because sugar will make your cells hold on to the minerals, which hydrates the cells more. Not that you need that. It's about finding a balance and doing a ketogenic or carnivore diet where you are taking magnesium. You could even do a transdermal, a magnesium, eating potassium in meat broth, or if you're doing keto, avocados, and then salt to salt. The reason why people typically are adding fruit back is because their blood sugar is out of control or their electrolytes are through just. But let me tell you what happens when you start adding fruit and honey and sugar back to a low carb diet. Forgive me for the wind tunnel noise, but my air conditioner and my camper kicked on until my house is built. I digress. Let's go more into this deep dive of what's going on. When you're doing a carnivore and a ketogenic diet, typically with a carnivore diet, you're eating too much protein. Yes, too much protein. Your body cannot chew, digest. A lot of you don't have the digestive equipment to break down the damn protein. And then you're chronically dehydrated trying to push protein byproducts through the kidneys. And then when you have too much protein, that converts back into glucose, and that glucose spikes your blood sugar, and your insulin starts looking kind of upside down. Like, instead of stabilizing, your A1C starts to decline. A lot of people who do carnivore have an A1C over 5.0. How is it over 5.0 if you're not eating any carbs? Should be 5.0, really under, like 4.8. That's an A1C. People start to develop dysglycemia of their blood sugar. 1 minute you have energy on carnivore or keto, 1 minute you don't. Eating fatty cuts of meat, it's not going to put you in ketosis. You have to add fat. You have to have high amounts of fat. Your stress has to be low, and your blood sugar has to stabilize, and your sleep has to be deep, and all this kind of stuff. You have to detoxify. So people don't really get into ketosis. Even doing a ketogenic diet often is very difficult, but once you're in, it's beautiful. People start to feel bad, or they'll feel dehydrated, or brain foggy, not enough energy, or the thyroid tanks, or the adrenals tank, facial twitching, the whole dehydration problem. People start adding carbs back to their diet, especially with the thyroid, right? If you're not in ketosis, the thyroid keeps tanking. And people will add fruit or honey or sugar to these low carb diets, which makes no sense. You're doing low carb, carnivore, keto, but adding sugar because they believe that something's going wrong with your insulin regulation. Not true. I've worked with a ton of people, and I have myself as the example. And the reason why your insulin is still functioning normally if you do things properly is because of gluconeogenesis. Your red blood cells are still going to get glucose through the breakdown of amino acids converted back into glucose, which means your insulin is still sensitive and does not rebound. People are not in ketosis. They think they're in ketosis. And so when they eat sugar, they feel so much better. Oh, I'm just doing so much better. Then just eat starches. You don't have to use sugar. Sugar is not going to restore glycogen. Honey is not going to restore glycogen. Liver glycogen, not muscle. People start rebounding, adding back sugars and fruits and honeys to their diet because, again, you don't store glycogen within the muscle. So you crash. The blood sugar starts to swing and bounce. And now your glucose starts to climb. Insulin starts to climb. Weight's not coming off. I really propose and really recommend either do low carb, high fat or be ketotic. But the low carb with fruit, the ketosis carnivore diet, high protein with fruit, is a thyroid, adrenal, hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal, thyroid axis mess waiting to happen. I think the only benefit is that your electrolytes are going to stay in the cell more. So you got to learn how to balance your electrolytes, because a lot of you already have blood sugar issues, and adding that honey or adding that sugar or adding the fruits, watch your blood sugar over time. Just give it time. Give it time. Not in ketosis, no stored glycogen, crashing. A lot of people say that they're having a successful experience on these diets, but nobody ever does, because they all come with caveats. It takes a lot of work to balance everything. And if people are talking about how amazing it is to not without the balance and the highs and the lows, I think maybe something's not true. Comment below. Are you thinking about going on fruit, sugar, honey, and call it carnivore? Or are you thinking about just going back to low carb, high fat because you have blood sugar dysregulation, electrolyte issues, or thyroid, gallbladder? Comment below. Share this content. My Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. Facebook fan page is Stephanie the Business Person. It's getting late. I need to go. I do, because I have to edit this video. I do consultations. I do run a course where I cover all 3 diets, and I work with over 10,000 people. So I got this. I think I got it. And I'm out. Energy 57, going on 58.